It wouldn't be a week in the football season without a Manchester United legend criticising the ownership, and for once, it's not Gary Neville, it's in fact Paul Scholes, the legendary midfielder, the man that Zidane allegedly said was the best midfielder in the world. Well, I've always been a bit dubious about that quote personally, but I tell you what, he was bloody good back in the day. Anyway, Scholes these days, he occasionally pops up in the media. He's a part owner of Salford City in the EFL League 2 with the other class of 92 legends, and of course pops up on the likes of TNT Sport every now and again for Manchester United coverage. But he's had a word about INEOS, the part owners of Manchester United, the runners of the footballing operations side of Manchester United, and he's criticised them, saying there's not really been a positive impact at the club, and certainly in terms of results, this season in particular, there really hasn't been. But let's have a look at what the Ginger Magician said, which I'm sure he doesn't like being called that, but I'm sure he's been called a lot worse in his career. Full article on thefootballchronicle.com as always, guys. Manchester United legend Paul Scholes has expressed his discontent with the club's ownership group, INEOS, claiming that he cannot identify any positive contributions they have made since acquiring a stake in the club last year. Scholes' comments come amidst United's struggles on the pitch, which has seen them endure one of their worst starts to a Premier League season in history. Surely it's got to be the worst in Premier League history. God, I can't think of one that's been worse than miles off it. INEOS, led by British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe, acquired a 27.7% stake in United in December 2023, increasing their shareholding last month. However, the changes off the pitch have not translated to improved performances on it, with the club struggling under managers Erik ten Hag and now Ruben Amorim. Speaking on the Overlap Football fan debate, Scholes said that INEOS have been in charge of United for nearly a year now and everything is still negative. I can't think of something positive they have done for the football club. The former United midfielder also criticised the club's decision to raise matchday ticket prices to £66 per league game, with no concessions for children or pensioners. That is disgusting. I don't care if you're the biggest club in the world, man. That is a disgusting price for you're paying almost £1 a minute, and I know Manchester United have got a massive global audience, but you gotta respect the local fans, and a lot of people right now won't be able to afford that, especially in an expensive city like Manchester. The move prompted protests from the fans, with Scholes adding his voice to the concerns over Ratcliffe's overall impact. Things are getting worse on the football pitch, so couldn't they have just said that they'd do cheaper tickets? Couldn't they just give us something positive? How can you ask Manchester United fans to pay more money with what's on the football pitch? You can't dispute that comment. That is absolutely unquestionable, that. He further emphasised the lack of positive developments at the club, saying, "Where do these owners get the front to put ticket prices up for what we're watching? For the value, we're probably having our worst ever Premier League season, and they've got the cheek to put the prices up. There is nothing positive happening with that football club. The team look bang average. They're not doing anything for the fans." I mean, aside from the City and, well, I mean, they weren't great against City in fairness, but they got the win. Aside from the Liverpool game, they've not been great, really, recently under Amorim anyway. I mean, some people might argue, well, they won the FA Cup last season, and I get that, they did win a trophy, but you can't say overall that, if you went to every Manchester United match, you wouldn't say that overall you would have had a particularly great experience. Yeah, winning the FA Cup, fantastic, amazing. Losing every other week in the Premier League, not so much. Scholes also expressed his disappointment with Ratcliffe, a long-time United fan, for increasing ticket prices despite the team's poor performances. If we've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe compared to all these American owners, who's been a United fan since growing up in the area of Manchester, and he's still hiking prices up, it just shows that they don't care. Yeah, fair enough. Manchester United currently sit in 13th place in the Premier League following a 2-2 draw with Liverpool Anfield on Sunday. The club's next fixture is an FA Cup third-round tie against Arsenal on Sunday as they look to turn their season around and appease the growing discontent among fans and former players alike. Yeah, and I've already done a preview of that as well. I've already recorded it, I should say, and it should be out at the same time as this one here. The morning of the 9th of January, this should be out at Microsoft. This one might make it to YouTube and it might be out on a later date, but yeah, Yeah, you can't. He's right. He's absolutely right. From a fan's perspective, right now, they don't care about the share price of Manchester United increasing. They don't care about Ratcliffe increasing his stake. They don't care to an extent for their actual match day going experience. If we're talking directly on that, they don't care about training facilities, about global partnerships, stuff like that. That doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is how good of an experience they're getting when they go to Old Trafford, and if that at £66, 66 quid. I mean, like recently I went to Sheffield United against West Brom in the Championship, right, just after Boxing Day, and my ticket was over £30. I was ballistic. I couldn't believe it was that much. And I know, on a scale of things, it's probably about right these days. That's what it is, unfortunately. But 66 quid in this day and age in the Premier League, it's becoming the going rate, unfortunately. But, you know, you've got to think about what an increase. I don't know what they were before. Let's say they were 50, 55 quid, 56 quid. They've put the prices up by a tenner, which is probably what it is in fairness. You know, that extra revenue from match day is going to be what? Over the course of a season, throughout the entire stadium of Old Trafford, you're talking, let's be generous, 5 million? That's going to make a more of a profit? You know, it's not a lot. You know, that's like 5% of Anthony. You know, what his transfer fee costs, without even factoring in things like wage demands and stuff like that. So in terms of the club's revenue, yes, it'll make a difference. Yes, these difficult and unpopular decisions that Ratcliffe talks about a lot, it's definitely unpopular, difficult. I'm not so sure it's tough for him, to be honest, but in terms of the actual balance sheet of Manchester United, I know these things can make a difference in things like PSR and all that, because we've seen clubs fall foul of it before. I get that, but still manage your finances a bit better. You know, Man United have got one of the biggest revenues in the world in terms of football. You have an unbelievable global fan base that you have to draw on in terms of commercial revenue and stuff like that. So there's no reason why the average match-going fan has to have a ticket that price. It's indefensible. You cannot justify that at all. It's too much. It's too much. And you know, when you think about Old Trafford, right, what it is to Man United fans in terms of the amount of fans that go there. Let's say, right, I don't know the stats, but let's be generous and say there's 50,000 season ticket holders out of that stadium out of 75,000, right? So you think about the revenue that's generating, the match day revenue of the club. It is tiny compared to the global fan base. The global fan base of Man United, I don't know how much it would be, but it's got to be 100 million, easy. People all over the world support them. I've been to some of the most remote, you know, like jungle nations in Southeast Asia and stuff like that. The Man United fans, the Liverpool fans, they support the England national team because they support English Premier League clubs. You go to any corner of the globe, you'll see kids wearing Man United shirts, Liverpool shirts. It's just a fact of life. So there's no reason why they need to increase the match going cost like that. It's just a really unpopular move. And in terms of the actual benefit it gives the club in terms of matchday revenue, it's not there. And Old Trafford, frankly, is falling apart. You know, and the staff as well. Scholes didn't even mention the staff there. But the staff layoffs at Man United have been disgusting. The amount of people have lost their jobs to save, a couple million a year. These are people's lives being destroyed by this. I could rant about this for a long time, guys, as you can tell. But as you can also tell, I agree with Paul Scholes on this. I really don't see any justification for this. I'm happy to discuss this with you. If you have got a different opinion, let us know in the comments as always. If you like the video, give it a like. Helps us out a lot. Follow, share, depending on the platform you're on, of course. Comment, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you soon for some hopefully less ranty videos. I've done a number of ranty videos in a row now for Football Chronicle. I don't like going for the boring subjects. You gotta go for the hard hitting ones, you know? That's how we do here. But yeah, see you soon, guys. Have a good one.